What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Study Hall here on TCG University for the card game UniVersus. My name's Tam, and today I'm joined with
James.
Cold Jeff.
A very cold Jeff. cold Jeff, as opposed to you're gonna have hot Jeff. Not Jeff's got this real chiseled jaw.
I'm into
or,
it.
even better, hot Jeff looks just like cold Jeff.
Oh.
Well, I just said you were hot right now.
Oh,
yeah. If you want more of this, you can go out and support us on patreon.com/TCUniversity.
When you inevitably don't.
Yeah, get access to the pre-show, the post-show, no ad break. Join us live in the chat, just like so many of you guys are. If you don't have any bucks to toss, that's totally chill. You can catch us for free out on youtube.com/TCGUniversity. Sub out there. Follow us out on Twitch as we go live every Tuesday. We've also got iTunes and TCG Player and Facebook and the fucking a million things. So check down in the description down below. If you haven't followed us on all our social medias, please do so. Just like all these awesome people. We've got Addy, Andrew Dang, Anthony Albano, Bryce Rasak, Chris Miner, Clay Cardwell, Jacob, Arshan Masur, Jay Rogers, Jarrett Hubbard, Jesse Servine, Jesse Morrison, Jesse Nix, John Stone, Justin Farce, Justin Hobbs, Kat Maria, Kevin Broberg, Kieran Vision, Lucinda Letica, Okami Law, Orlando Valdos, Sendos, Paul Casagrande, Peyton Kiker, Ransom MacArthur, Samantha Stevens, the baddest bitch around, Sean O'Brien, Tito Ruiz, and Tyler Zambies. Thank you guys so very much for supporting the channel, helping us keep the lights on, and bring this awesome content to you. Lastly, for our sponsors this week, we've got Red Riot Games, Card Custom Build, Inked Gaming, and Dex Protection, but we will chat about that a bit later. For now, James Stevens. How has your week in UniVersus been? Hit me with it. Hit me with a hot deets.
I've built a lot of decks.
Built a lot of decks?
Yeah.
What have you built?
Three bells,
3 bells?
3 skies, 3 dark ones. All the tournament decks I've played this week and I have planned for next week. Me and Sam's decks that we're going to play around with this weekend.
Why have you built so many Grim Fairy Tale decks?
I'm just going to go down the entire list and just build decks for every character.
For everybody?
Every character.
Why?
Just because.
Okay.
Retro and all. But they'll be like...
Retro,
it's like when I hit...
Retro and all?
Yeah, like when I hit retro, I'm going to start building like retro decks.
Huh.
So like I'm going to build standard all the way through like standard characters. When I hit retro, I'm going to start building retro. You want to stop?
I have a magnet on my wrist. That's neat. That's really, really cool. What is making you want to do this? What's the desire?
I'm bored.
You're bored.
Yep.
And so the idea is just to build decks?
Yep. Build decks. I'm sick of building decks.
How are you, when are you, what are you, who are you, when are you?
He's got so many questions.
Okay.
How are you built?
What?
Hold on. What?
Where?
Why are you building these? When are you building these? Are you using your phone or are you using your laptop?
It depends on what I'm doing at the time. Like if I'm working on sometimes when I'm like just working on TCG Player stuff, I'll do it on my phone while I'm doing it, like multitasking.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I have all the free time, I'll do it on my computer while watching Netflix, YouTube, or Crunchyroll on my phone.
And there's zero chance that you'd want to like mic up, record it, and throw it out on Patreon? Because I think that's like really good content.
Well, you didn't like the mic I used last time.
You're right.
My computer also can't really support like long things like that. Yeah. That's why one of my upgrades is going to be computer when we get a chance.
What if? Because I bet the good people would love to see like just deck. Honestly, a deck build for everybody.
Once I finish, like once we get a computer, my plan is to stream more often.
Yeah.
Like actually stream, where I just build decks or just hang out with people, play games. That is the plan.
Okay.
But my computer sucks ass.
Yeah.
It's only good as like an office computer. It runs Microsoft very well. I can watch YouTube. Doesn't really have a problem with that. But if I upscale it just a little bit to games, running TTS, runs Isaac pretty okay. But I think Isaac doesn't take a lot.
I don't know what that is.
Binding of Isaac?
The Binding of Isaac. Okay, I thought Isaac was like another card game program, and I'm like, I've never heard of that.
No.
It's just a little boy that he watches.
Oh. I see. Isaac, if you
If you're watching,
if you need help, blink twice. James' audio is non-existent.
Oh,
That
no.
can't be true. I turned it up.
Did you turn it off?
No, I just turned it off.
What about his mic cord? What about your cord? Maybe he's just not speaking into his mic. That'd be crazy, though, right?
Fuck you. Black, green, and what's this other color?
Spooky.
I'm just trying to make sure we have all the right cords plugged in.
The last cord is hanging up, so
That makes sense.
there's no way.
There's no way.
Mic test.
Can you hear me? Testing. 413.
We will wait. And if this if this doesn't work, all you have to do is raise your microphone and talk into it. It's crazy. The craziest thing I've ever heard.
Riveting.
We have the music on.
You did it last week too.
Yeah.
I'm speaking directly into the microphone.
Could you hear him then?
This is me speaking directly into the microphone.
Perfect.
Solid.
Perfect. Will you just raise the microphone up and aim it at your face?
The entire night.
No, incorrect.
He's gonna hold it the entire night. Hello.
And then aim it right at your face. Perfect. Okay. We have to get started again. 3, 2, 1. Hey, we're back. And I've now cut the music. My bad.
And my mic's on.
Yeah, and I think the mic was on. I think it was on the whole time. Sorry, Tyler, for the editing that you had to do there.
Let them buy it.
No. I'm not going to lie for you. Just be better at podcasting. We've done this for fucking 3 years.
I hate these mics.
Hey, what are you up to? I'm done talking to James about this. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Building decks.
Ah, that's right. Jeff, how's UniVersus been? Any deep thoughts?
Nah. No, I don't know. That Cassandra deck was really fun. I like that one a lot.
We played Cassandra. So for anybody who didn't get a chance to see the stream tonight at time of recording, we recorded a Rochester versus TCG throwdown. Excuse me. That was... They made 4 decks. We made 4 decks. We gave each other the characters, and then they paired the deck lists up however they wanted. Genuinely a tough campus championship. I thought it was... When I first saw the initial looks, I was like, ooh, yikes. This is gonna be very tough for TCGU. But you'll have to see when it comes out on YouTube how it did. Or if you're live right now, you can still go check the VOD on Twitch. By the time they're live on YouTube, the VOD will be gone. But you like the Cassandra deck. What about Cassandra? That
I think
Cassandra
Earth.
or
I think it's just Earth.
Earth in general?
Yeah.
Okay.
Snazzy, defensive.
Ooh.
And I don't know. But then again, like I realize that I'm not the biggest fan of missile launcher.
There are quite a few 3 damage attacks in that deck. That might have been it.
I don't know about that, but the Akimbo.
I was talking to
How'd
Tim.
you feel about the Kodokan deck?
I was talking to Tim Keefe, and he's like,
That was cool.
It was going to side into Lilith, but then like we don't play with sideboards, so we didn't do that.
The Kodokan deck also played quite a little bit of 3s.
Cool conduct
The-
was cool.
Damage attack?
It had played
Sublets.
one
Sublets.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Neat.
and
It played that multiple
multiples.
times.
Fair. I think you. I don't know. I don't want to get into your Kodokan match. I think you were a greedy boy. There were plenty of times where we were like, "Oh, he's picking up the saw blades. Why? Oh, he just wants us to hit him with it again." Okay. You just tried a ready foundation to hit him with another 6 damage saw blades. I hope it was worth it.
I mean, he did have to get through 40 health.
Yeah, I mean, we could have done that. Anyways. My week has been fine. I've been playing UniVersus. Made some more decks on tabletop. Continued to make decks for campus championships. We've got Pod 2 next week. We have one last DLC to be ordered and bought. Right, the last Soul Calibur, which has got Astaroth 2. Exciting.
Has the character I'm probably playing for like the next year?
Sophidia's already out, man.
Tira?
You're playing Sophidia.
Oh, yeah.
Tira's garbage compared to Sophidia.
Wait, is this? Did we already cover this? But
Tier 2
is your But is your? He made a promise at Nat's Worlds, whatever where we were.
Right after Worlds.
He's made a promise that he's going to try hard. Is that
I'm only
carrying over? Is
Yeah,
it
yeah.
when like an actual season starts?
It's a whole competitive
It has to be
year.
a whole season.
Yeah.
Our season didn't last that long. And I also kind of broke it off.
I'm just
to play
being clear.
Amy.
I just want to make sure. You could have easily cheesed yourself out of it.
That was after you made the bet after Worlds.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
the Worlds
yeah.
was if
Yeah.
I did,
Worlds was the last
if I
run.
didn't do good with Amy.
Yeah, you're actually
I
gonna
had
try.
to play competitively. That's right. I made the joke about starting my heel turn at the Omaha PTC. And I
Right.
started with Goro, and then I played Amy.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yep.
That's what I was thinking of. Because fan made fun of me for it.
Going from an A tier character down to a
Oh, no,
C
he
tier
said,
character.
I thought you, when he saw my deck list for Amy, he was like, I thought you said you were doing the heel turn.
He's like, I am. I'm going from
I
a
was
bad
like,
character
I
to a
am.
worse character.
I said, I am. Have you seen my deck? That Amy deck was still sick.
It was cool. It was very, very cool.
I had a lot of 50-50 matchups that ended up on one life that day.
I learned to bring the fun deck with you because I would have much rather played Astaroth all day as opposed to
I
playing.
think you should just play Jeddah.
Yeah, Jedda's just shit on me.
Yeah, I know.
Anywho, yeah. So UVS news. The big stuff this week is that from Retro, we have a couple bands, Goro as well as Mourning the Lost have both been
Gonzos.
gone. They're no longer going to be in the next Retro round 4.
I'm upset they didn't hit Blindfold.
Thoughts on it?
Uh,
Are you happy these two cards are gone out of the Retro format?
Goro's whatever. I could care less. But understandably, he picks up 4 of whatever he fucking wants.
Yeah.
Morning Lost, I agree with. But that's just because Morning Lost says draw free card.
Honestly, that's not the issue with Mourning the Lost.
You think it's the
The
damage?
issue with Mourning the Lost is you're accidentally, because of how quick games are, you're accidentally like, ooh, plus 12 damage. All right. Sorry, man. That stinks. Whoops. And like people were, we're tossing that on throws and such.
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's an extra 12 damage. I'm like, oh. You get damage for me playing the game? Shucks. I guess it's just a stop playing the game then. I'm happy Goro's gone only because I want to see like a more diverse cast of characters being played. And I think the issue with Goro existing in the format is the fact that he, like, the Goro deck that we're seeing top and win. Sorry, the Goro deck that we're seeing win is just the same deck. It's now the same deck twice because in the second Retro event, it should have won, but a small misplay stopped it from happening. I love and respect Jose a lot. He was going to lose. The judge damage is what won him that game. And then in the second event, the other Goro was just even cleaner, even more consistent, and it's just like filing down to become this murder machine. That's like play 4 attacks that all have 4 damage to have drawn 4 extra cards and then pass. I'm like, oh, I'll block the 3 times that I need. I'll flip this. I'll pick up 4 more Nutcrackers and then continue on. I drew 6 attacks or 6 cards this turn because of how Goro works. And they all have an extra 4 damage. Just like it's so easy to just melt through pretty much every character that's not Goro. And even in the Goro mirror match, it's just like it's just honestly, it's just not interesting to watch.
I think it's gonna be. I think we're gonna have just as uninteresting matches coming up.
Really?
Yeah, I think all the Goro decks just get replaced with Blindfold decks,
Well, I mean,
and I think Blindfold's
the
the
Goro
next
deck
thing
that won is already playing blindfold.
Yeah,
so.
I know. I think Blindfold should have went with it.
I agree. I think Blindfold was missed on the list. But the other big news is that the KOF promo pack came off.
Phil Bird's going to be fucking nuts.
I believe that some of the cards are still banned. I
don't know the list.
I can look that up.
Do you know off the top of your head if additional knowledge was one?
No, I do not. I can look it up. How do you guys feel about, for this event only, those cards will not be on the list?
I think only like 3 cards are going to matter in that entire thing.
Have you read any of these crazy cool cards?
No.
I also have not. So like it's not retro series.
Yada. I think Yada, Sweet Ridiculous.
Whoa, Yada Garasu?
Yada Garasu. Oh my goodness. This is
insane.
this,
They can't
these are
draw any
prizes for the
cards.
next promo.
I want them so bad.
What? The Swallow Your Soul?
Swallow Your Soul.
Yes.
I
care less.
Do you just want to Swallow Your Soul?
Yeah.
All right, then play the event.
I think we
What
should have played the last one. You can get some Akimbos, but whatever. You know.
Specific ban. Mourning the Lost, Goro. Red Horizon promo pack.
Oh.
All of these cards are gone.
What?
No, look at the key.
What?
Up. Go up.
Go up. Cards in red have been removed from the ban list.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they
So,
kept
the
Forbidden
black
Knowledge.
aircraft carrier, forbidden knowledge, supporting teammates, welcome fighters, and clandestine research
Yeah, clandestine's
are all
nuts.
still there. It looks like every other card has been
fine.
pulled
Yeah,
off
that's fine.
for this event. And
Yada's still going to be very good in my opinion.
we've got Mr. Karate 1, Mature 2, Shin 2, Vice 2, Clark 2, and Saki 2 are all characters we are allowed to play with now. Interesting. Honestly, those cards were also before my time. I do not know what they do. I guess I will make a video explaining which cards I think are good or not. I think that's like a fine piece of content. I do have to get it out very fast though, because the next event is what?
You don't want to read Tim calling you out?
What? Tim called me out.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I will go back and read that. When is it? When's the next event?
Never.
Oh, how do I sign up? Anyways, it's happening soon. That's just what we'll say. It's happening soon. Hey, my bad. I just forgot the key. I forgot the key, Tim. I forgot. My bad. So with that, that's kind of all the Jasco news that I have that I can at least know of. Final thoughts on Retro? Is it a format that you're enjoying watching any content on? I did not get a chance to break out any of the matches from the last Retro event.
I have not watched
Just
a
been too
single
crazy.
Retro game.
I will say they're a blast to watch.
I have not had a chance to.
They're a blast. After Pod 2, I think it's a Retro event.
Solid.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what I want to play then.
We'll figure it out later. I want to go ahead and move on to our main topic of the show. The James and we'll do this. The James and Tam arguing hour.
Fucking goddamn.
Yes.
This is every podcast. We've made this joke so many times.
Well,
It's every
here's
fucking
the deal.
podcast.
Here's the deal. Discord, our Patreons have asked us to argue. So, Mega Thunderzord
It's
in
like
the
they
chat.
never watched one of our podcasts
I'm
before.
gonna take you for a walk. Okay, last week he said, you guys talked about the difference between playing the game casually like you do and playing competitively and grinding. What is the difference in mentality between the two, and how can one become competitive / be in that mentality in these times where there are not tournaments or competitive events outside of online? We got a follow-up that says you could also throw in there in your ideas of how competitive and casual can coexist in the same environment. And then they go on, Mega Thunderzord and Kyle go on to talk about that just a little bit. So let's talk about that first one first. What is the difference between playing casually and like we are for the campus championships, as you say, and playing competitively and grinding? What is the difference specifically on mentality?
I find the difference to be more based around where the mindset is. Like when we're playing campus championship, I don't think our mindset's like, what's the next tournament? what cards are exactly working in the deck I'm playing right now. What's my opponent playing? What do I have to predict for like next round? What's going to come inside the bracket? Because we know what the bracket is. We know what the tournament layout's going to look like.
Yeah.
Or we just don't plan for it because it doesn't matter. We're not trying to like play for a meta. We're just trying to build a deck. We're trying to show off a deck.
Interesting.
Whereas competitively, you have to think about who all's going to be there, what type of players. Like if Atlanta comes down and it's just Atlanta at that PTC, and you and the like local players, it's going to be one hella quick tournament.
Sure.
Just face all day, and then like you have to think about that. You have to think about what decks are going to show up, what's in the meta. For us, we just kind of pick decks, or like now we're doing pods, so like you know what like the format looks like, or like what you have to expect.
Sure.
Or you just don't care, like because it doesn't matter a whole lot for countering a meta. Because it's not as cool for content if you just play hard counters to everything in the set.
Well, see, that's where like, Jeff, what are your thoughts before I jump on James? Hop on, pop.
Casually, you can play around a little bit more. You can play those like combos that are interesting, maybe not nearly as good, but interesting. Play the attacks that are not as good. Maybe you just want to see like what can this do, what can that do, and then competitively, like exactly what James said, you have to think about like. I think we should side more if we're trying to be competitive. I think you need to, right? You think about what is going to be at the tournament, what you need to try and prevent them from doing while also doing your thing. Yeah, just like strategy.
I want to go to a point that you have made. Do you plan when you are on your competitive grind? Do you make your deck to fight people versus characters? If you go to Atlanta, is your deck going to look different than if you go to New York? Is your deck going to look different if you go to Texas?
I think it would depend on the meta, but sorta.
Explain that for me, because that's actually blowing my mind.
That like
I disagree as well.
We talk about this entire time about player versus player, and you're telling me that
I think it's something to be you need to be
building against a
aware
player?
of. But if you can't beat their character, it doesn't matter if you're beating them or not.
I think,
But like I think knowing how to like how best to fight like at like a certain meta matters. Like Atlanta is, as we know, is more of an aggressive meta. Like
I actually disagree with that. And here's why. I watched Dave Wagner in the 2018 Nationals play a fucking 3-hour match versus Barrett Bryant in teams.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Wagner's one of them Atlanta boys.
I know, and I want you to know that you can't just have 3 aggros on a team.
Well,
they're not complete idiots. They know you have to have that balance. I want you to also know in that 28 finals that both Ben Shoemaker and Phil Birch left Dave Wagner's ass to go watch some soccer.
For sure.
Because they finished their matches and went, well, this is gonna be forever. Bye.
Well, the thing is we had. Do you remember the other 2 decks that were played?
In their thing,
in their pod,
in their match,
In their
the
team.
other 2 decks that they played on their team.
Yeah, it was.
Who did Phil Birch play?
And
who did Phil Birch play? Come on, buddy, you got this. Ooh,
Jackie?
No, wrong. Wrong. Could you imagine Phil Birch playing Jackie? Insane.
Fuck. What did he play? Because I know Ben played Liu Kang.
Yeah, because Ben and Jake had the mirror match,
Yeah.
and it was Jet versus Vega, a control character.
I don't think he was playing control deck.
Yes. He was playing a control deck until he got the desperation and he killed you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a meta where it didn't take long to get to desperation?
I don't know, man. I think that I still think Vega is a defensive.
I think Vega's a defensive character.
Vega's primary mode is defense control.
Yeah.
But because of how the game works, you can just flip it, right?
Yeah.
But let me take it back. I do not believe that you should change the cards in your deck based on the region or based on the people that you think are going to be at the event. I don't believe that's true at all. I think that you make the tightest deck that you can, and then how you play those cards can be different based on who it is that you're fighting. But if I'm like, oh, I know that Keenan Meadows is going to be at this event, I better put in extra. Coffee Samba hates. Like that's ridiculous. There's zero chance that I do that, because how do I even know Keenan Meadows is showing up unless he broadcasts it? Hello, everyone. I, the Coffee Samba Master, will be at this PTC. Please do not play Sense of Morals against me, everyone. Please do not. I will be playing Coffee Samba and committing your entire board. No Mallies, no Sense of Morals,
you can't
please.
just show up to Worlds like the Nationals like that. Just
he did.
Hey, I'm playing my pro again.
For sure. Yes, he did. But that was a different time, and I would love to bring that time back, but we cannot. Mohawk Mike, rest in peace. But the thing is when we take and we look at like who is going to be at an event, I don't look and be like, oh my god, Mark Tyner's going to be at the event. He's going to play the lamest, most Wally control deck I've ever seen in my whole life. Looks like I better play something that's hyper aggressive just to beat Mark Tyner.
Well, why wouldn't you play something in the sideboard that does that? That's what the sideboard's for.
Sure, but that should be an oversight of my deck, not an oversight of I'm scared of the boogeyman Mark Tyner.
Well, that's all it is when you build meta decks. When you build sideboards for meta decks, anyways, you're scared of the boogeyman. What decks hurt you? What decks are the best decks in the meta?
I'm scared of Kevin Broberg 2. I'm not scared of Mark Tyner.
Yeah. But you know Mark Tyner's going to play a lot
Mark
slower.
Tyner's going to come to my basement and beat me up if I keep talking like this. Putting
Mark
disrespect on his name.
Mark Tyner's going to play a slower version of that deck than almost anybody else will.
Yeah.
Even if they have the same deck card for card, Mark Tyner's going to play that slower.
It's way slower.
And like
So
comparatively, you're going to think that everyone else playing Kevin Broberg's going to be fucking quick as fuck.
Yeah.
So why not just play to Mark Tyner?
Yeah, but like...
Because if you're playing to Mark Tyner, you're already playing to the Kevin Broberg anyways.
Kevin Broberg 2.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. You know what I mean.
Yep.
Like,
we have to be careful because... Yeah.
The concept of where we were.
I understand.
If you're at the tip of the iceberg, why not aim for the tip of the iceberg and not just the base?
Because...
If you're trying to get over the iceberg.
Because of the fact that playing to fight Kevin means that any other jabroni that playing to fight Mark means that any other jabroni who's playing Kevin Broberg 2. Might just get a fast one on me because they're playing different. And it is me not adapting to my surroundings. It's me saying this is how I beat Mark Tyner. Right? This is like a...
That's why God made game 3s.
That's fair. This is like a... To bring his name up on the podcast again. So we had Michael Boyd go to an event, and he was playing Tornaloose, and he was playing some very very fast, very consistent Tornaloose deck that just like ripped through half of his deck, just drawing cards, just comboing off like crazy. And him and Mark Tyner went to a local, and Mark Tyner got mollywopped. And then they ended up going to this PTC, and Mark Tyner literally put 2 cards in to just fight Michael. Yeah. And then Mark lost that PTC because he had 2 cardboard slots that were just for Michael. Yeah, he totally beat Michael whenever they fought in rounds. Good job, man. He did not top the event.
But we don't know
what
what the 2 cards could have been. What he would have chose. What he chose over. At that point, it's just 2020.
Well, he could have picked something that wasn't like not. It's not Maze Castle. It's the other bad one.
The one that changes zones. Or is that Maze?
That is Maze Castle. It's
Clock Tower?
Yes, from 7th Cross or whatever. I will. Yeah, I'll find it. Yeah, Clock Tower Castle, Clockwork Castle. Yeah, he put in 2 of those, just to be like,
hey, fuck you,
specifically Michael's Tornaloose, and it just didn't pay out for him. And I think that's just a bad mentality to have if you're going to be playing. If you are playing casually, just to like main board hate for a single player. And that's what the whole question comes back to is all mentality, right?
But he did it for a single player, but like it also covers other things, covers combo strings. It's not like Michael was the only one that could have played Fog Blanket deck. Like
you're not
other
wrong.
combo decks exist.
You're not wrong. But let me take it back to like the overarching problem that I had with your statement is I think mentality wise it is bad to go X person is going to be at an event. Let me make my sideboard or make my main board to fight them.
don't think there's anything wrong with it. I just think understand that like if it doesn't pan out, you're gonna end up with like the Mark Tyner where you lose because you could have had something else. Like it exists the same way you choose X card over a Y card. It is a choice.
Yeah.
It is such a crazy question just because of like I have no other way to look at it because I just have to look at it from Yu-Gi-Oh experience.
Please
and
do.
like
Card games are card games.
you could never do that in Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, it's just because like Yu-Gi-Oh, you got like at least 100 people, you know, like there's no way you can even
Like,
predict to play that
for, like,
person.
small tournaments.
Yeah.
Like,
And,
Yeah, I completely agree with you. This is like one of those little niche things that we have because our card game is relatively small, right? We have a small card game, especially in the competitive market. But the thing about mentality of casual versus competitive, let's bring it all the way back. I think like in the summary of casual versus competitive is in casual you do what you want to do, in competitive you do what everybody else wants to do. Or you stop other people from doing what you want to do. In very casual UniVersus,
you should do. Is the way I see it.
What do you mean?
So
for
like
competitive?
For casually, you do what you want to do. You test the things you want to test.
Yeah.
You test the things you're interested in. Competitively, you do what should be done. What's the most optimal thing you should do right this second? And then after you do that card, even if it changes, what's the most optimal thing to do now?
Yeah.
Like that's what normal testing looks like.
And looking at not just what are the what does my deck do, but what does their deck do, and looking at that and running the playbook. And you can honestly just run the playbook on your singles deck and be like, if I fight this, what helps me, what hurts me, and like really dissecting the decks that you play. I will say that the way that we play the campus championship, which is like where this question initially came from, because we talked about what the campus championship does for us, and the ideas of bolstering up a singular deck or working on your fundamentals of playing the game, which the campus championship should be fixing your fundamentals. You should be better at reading what your opponent has in their hand, or so on and so forth. Just getting naturally better at those natural mechanics. Running things like the playbook on a deck that you want to take competitively will make you better at understanding what your deck wants to do. One of the biggest issues that I have when it comes to making something like a Goro deck is I get bogged down when in the deck building process of what do I want to do. And I get very bogged down and I start putting 3 engines inside of one deck.
You should have seen the Goro deck I had before this.
Yeah.
Was just for Soul Sucker. I can't think of the name right now.
Soul Sucker.
Yeah. Swallow Your Soul.
Yes.
Swallow. Force Swallow. And then I think it was like 16, 17 one-ofs.
Yeah.
In my attack lineup.
Yeah.
And I think my like foundations were like 80 cards. And then I just went, we'll test this combo later, not for the campus championship. Ugh.
Yeah.
We'll play lame old Earth Goro deck I've already built.
Yeah. So I have an issue of taking my competitive decks and like building them a little too wide initially. But then when you care about like wanting to make your deck more competitive, you just have to live with it and adjust it and take notes about, whether it be mental or physical notes about what it is that your deck is doing at the time, right? Which brings us into like the other half of the question of like, what are the differences between the two, and how can one be competitive / be in that mentality in times where there are not tournaments or competitive events outside of online? And this all comes down to what's your goal in the game. That's truly it. It's all goal based. Like if I asked you right now, Jeff, at sitting at this table right now, what is your goal with UniVersus?
Right now, it'd be to take more games in campus championships.
Okay.
I'm going to win an event.
Woo. You're going to win an event.
Yeah.
Can you break it down any further for me? Because we have events here at the house.
Gross. I could care less about these events.
Perfect. So
They're
that's
content-based events.
that's what
Are
I
you
needed from
like,
you.
are
I
you-
don't know what
wanna
the
win
word
a
event
competitive
means.
event.
You want? Are you talking a retro event? Are you talking a PTC when it comes back?
I want to win cardboard. How's that? Is that better?
Yes, absolutely. You want to win a major?
Sure. Yeah.
Yes, a paper major.
Yes and no. I want to have fun.
Then that's not the goal. The goal is not to win cardboard. Then you don't want to win the event. You want to go have fun.
Yeah, but losing's not fun.
This is where you're getting bogged down. This is the issue that we're coming up with, right? So I'll ask again.
I want to play the most games possible.
You want to play the most games possible.
Yeah, I want to have fun in the most games possible.
That's cool. So once again, you've now changed your sentence.
I've not.
I want
The concept is
I
the
want
same.
to play the most. So, but this actually having a very clear and concise idea of what it is that you want.
I want to have fun. That is what I want.
You can find a way to win your own way for sure. But that's Tyler in the comments. I agree. I totally agree. But I've asked you to say this, what it is that you want in the card game, and you've given me 6 uniquely worded sentences.
And they each had the word fun.
Sure, totally. So what I'm asking is if I made you write it down and stick it in your wallet, and you weren't allowed to change your verbiage, think on it. Like what would actually
I want to have the most fun possible playing this game.
and that's it.
Yeah,
Okay, then winning's not included in that.
it can be.
It can be, but that's not the
No.
goal.
No.
The goal is to have fun. If
Yeah.
you went and you had a blast and went 0-7, you'd be fine.
I went 3-4, losing 3 of my 4 games at Worlds by 1 life. Fuck, did I not care? I was super blessed.
Did you have but
Yeah.
you had fun?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I wish I won more, but just so I could play more games. But fucking whatever. Got to play Amy all day. Had close matches. Showed everybody the fear that Amy ensues.
Yep. So everybody was super fearful. Yep.
They should have been.
My goal at the moment right now is to create solid content
I agree with you, Tyler.
so that anybody who is new to the game can have some sort of stepping stone or some sort of starting place when it comes to deck building or watching content or just knowledge based around UniVersus. I am not looking at winning a major. That's not my goal. And so when I play the game, I'm not trying to push towards that goal. If you have a goal like winning, taking more games off of a campus championship, figure out how do you push towards that goal. If you want to have more fun with the game, then figure out how inside of whatever events that you're going to be playing, whether they're be here or online or back in paper, this is my goal. Let's do it.
Don't worry, I already do.
Then perfect. Yeah. But I can say, and not to just keep shitting on you, because I promise.
Okay,
I'm
that's
not,
what every podcast is.
Hey, that's not the not the goal.
That's what 5 years of this podcast has been.
Hell yeah.
Hey, we need to come up with something for that, by the way. 5 years is coming up.
Okay.
I thought about it earlier.
You can't have your mission statement, your idea, be 6 different things. I want to have fun. I want to win. I want to top of the event. I want to win cardboard. I want to
have fun.
I want to make this cool combo work. I
all
want
of this is
to. I want to find a way to win my way. All of those things are not. Those are not the same thing.
We're all having fun.
But if you take and you make that your goal, if you take and you say, I'm going to accomplish all 6 of these things, you'll do none of them.
What? I have perfectly fine. If I want to do a cool combo, I do a cool combo. And then I jump to the next thing. You can always keep moving.
Sure, but I can tell you, this is the difference between focus and paying attention. You can focus on one thing, you pay attention to many things, right? And if you want to get better at a game competitively, you have to focus on elements. You have to focus on an end goal. You have to have some sort of end goal in sight. Yeah. But you can pay attention to many of these things. Yeah. And so my question is if your end goal is to have fun, if that's the end goal, if that's the highest thing that you can achieve, then what in this game makes you have fun? And then focus on doing that by paying attention to other small details. for example, if my end goal was to go and win cardboard, then if my goal is to go and win cardboard and I don't necessarily care about the word fun, then go and find the craziest, comboiest, most insane deck of all time. But the word fun is not anywhere near my focus, because the me ham-fisting the word fun, or as Tyler has said, finding a way to win my way, that is not my goal. That is because finding a way to win your own way and focusing on winning a cardboard event, they don't go hand in hand. That is not the way for you to go and win an event. Can it happen? Yes, absolutely. It absolutely can happen. But that is not the way to do that. Just like I can accidentally find a way to create the light bulb, right? I was trying to make this one thing and I accidentally made penicillin. Fuck, that's amazing. But this is
Actually,
not.
I think he was upset about making
This is not the correct route if I want to win cardboard. Doing it my own way is not the way to do it. It's not. Can it happen? Absolutely. Absolutely. A clock's right twice a day.
Blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a
For sure, for sure. Do you think that competitive and casual can exist in the same environment?
Yeah. Look at me.
I think it happens all the time. Yep. I think, especially when you...
I think it's more
when
of
you...
He was talking.
a player mindset thing.
Competitive, you are often, I find at least, that you are not playing something that always is interesting to you, so you can have your casual deck on the side. And there's always casual games going on at locals. I mean, maybe not at PTCs, but probably at PTCs. But I mean, that's probably with your competitive deck. But at locals, you'll see. I mean, you might see little kids playing while the event's going on or whatever. So
You'll see a lot of people playing after they've dropped or when we hit tops. When you
So,
hit tops or people drop.
I'll give you one more sentence. So the question is how competitive and casual can coexist in the same environment, and then somebody else commented, that's very true. My play group there is more casual players than competitive players, and at times building less than optimal decks or characters so that games last longer and more learning can happen rather than having one-sided games or games that don't last beyond turn 2 or 3.
That's how I taught Sam how to play the game.
So what I see there is if you have a local environment, I think that it has to start at the largest. You have to start at the forest and understand how the event is being played before you can start going down into players and then matches as we look at then trees and then branches, right? If you are walking in and the event is a cutthroat event, then the competitive players should be allowed to be competitive.
Oh yeah,
right.
For sure.
But if the TO is like, "Hey everybody, I'm going to be saying out random wacky things, and you have to, hey everybody, destroy your foundations. Hey everybody, commit half your foundations at the start of your opponent's turn. Ready half your
Play as
foundations.
Roy.
Yes. Hey everybody, take the top 2 cards of your deck and put it in your momentum. This is where the casual player thrives, right? When wacky stuff happens, whether at the event level, right? Hey everybody, switch each other's decks. You now get to play your opponent's deck, right?
We've done that before. That's real cool.
Yeah, like there's looking at the pen events, right? Those are like a healthy blend of competitive and casual because you get to try something that's wacky and crazy.
We used to do something in Yu-Gi-Oh called Watermelon.
Watermelon?
So you'd grab half of your deck and give it to your opponent, and you'd take half of their deck and then shuffle. I mean, I guess it wouldn't work in this game, but
If you just say no symbol chaining, go for it.
there you go.
Yeah,
That'd be a fun casual.
that would be fun. Shuffle your deck, split it in half. All right, here you go.
And you can always separate them because they're different colored sleeves.
I love that. That's really cool.
Be a real shame if you and your opponent have the same sleeves. Though.
Then you just can't do it.
You just Luke Murphy it.
No, that's a bad idea.
Maybe. Anyways,
Sorry. Sorry,
but
so rudely.
I think whenever you like the very first thing is you have to figure out what the event looks like, and then as we go down and we look at players, you have to come in with a mindset and understand, and truly it's about being empathetic to what or apathetic to apathetic. One of those two words.
It's empathetic.
Caring about what the fuck
Empathetic.
what the fuck everybody else wants to do, right? If I'm coming in with my tier 0 dumbass Ash Mill deck, right? Like this thing's not fun for either of us. And you sit down across from somebody who's like, I've determined to make Chun-Li 1 dot work, and I'm only playing Chun-Li cards. Hey, try not to be a dickhole. And at the same time, if you were the Chun-Li player, realize that you were sitting down across from somebody who's wanting to play the game and get the most out of it that way. So don't make easy plays to try and be bad, right? Make the optimal play with your less optimal cards, if that makes sense. Like reach across the table and like shake your opponent's hand and be like, hey, I'm gonna do my absolute best to kill you. Yeah, the cards that I'm playing are the cards that I want to play, but don't just like throw because, right? Oh, this would be really cool if it works, but it didn't kill you. Yeah, but it could have been cool.
I think that's like a give. I think that's kind of a given, though, right? Like in that situation, you gave them a bad deck, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're trying to be casual, right? They're still trying to be competitive. So I think it goes without saying that they're going to try their best. Like they're sitting down in a tournament against, if you weren't trying to be competitive, you wouldn't have played in the tournament. So like
that's actually just not that's not true because there are so many different types of players. I've seen players who have sat and played a card and went, I'm not even paying attention to this game really. I'm just here because X, Y, and Z is here. I'm here to get my entry pack and then leave.
Sounds really lame.
I don't disagree with you, right? Like I don't disagree with you, and that's not my mentality. But I can't harsh on their mellow because that's what they want to do, right?
I suppose. I guess.
I
don't know. I still don't know. Like, I don't want to harp on this too much, but I don't know why you wouldn't just like sit on the side and like, hey, you want to grab a game after somebody's done like real quick or something?
Yeah,
like,
I agree with Jeff here. I think if you're playing the tournament, you should know it's competitive. You should know that it's going.
I'm not saying those people don't exist
for the same
but,
reason as you don't show up. You don't follow someone to a casino and go, cool, $5 on black, and then just walk away from the table because you don't care what's going on.
Well,
you showed up knowing what's going on, paid your money to do this one thing, to gamble.
For sure.
And then went, I'm not too worried about it. You're still a gambler. You still gambled.
Hey, why did you make that play? I don't know. I don't really care. That's the same mentality. That's the exact same mentality of the words. If you say the words because I don't care, I've been trying not to say your name, James. Because I don't care inside of a tournament setting, you are not trying your best.
Yeah.
Right. Give me.
I've never ran into somebody doing that.
Why did you do this?
You've never had to play me.
Why did you do this way? Because I didn't give a shit. Because I literally I drew. These are the cards. I'm going to put them on the table. Was that the right play? I don't know. I don't care. If it works, it works. Who gives a shit? Like that is a casual mentality to have.
That's my competitive mindset.
That is a casual mentality to have, as opposed to I am thinking through all of my plays. What am I supposed to do? Is this the optimal thing? That is a casual. I don't care is a casual mentality because you are laxed about the game. You are relaxed. This is not the most optimal play that you've ever done. I've seen you play competitively. When you sit here and you actually look at what's going on and you take and you have this brain blast and you like actually make really solid, amazing, awesome plays. And
I think like once a turn.
The other 90% of the games that you play over your entire lifetime have been I don't care, which is fine. You're allowed to not care, but that is a casual mindset. I don't care is a casual mindset. It just is.
I think once a turn. That's it, though. I don't usually have to think more than once a turn. Nothing really changes too much, in my opinion, of the game right now. In one turn. Bring it on. We already do this with the Yellow James podcast.
No, I don't want it to be that because like I have a follow-up question, but I actually just want to check my time.
55?
We've been at this for 50 minutes already. Actually insane.
Yeah.
Crazy.
There might be like a good 10 minutes that you're going to cut out, though.
That's also true.
It's fair.
It's like 45.
So here's the final question. All right. This episode of Study Hall is sponsored by InkedGaming.com. Are you looking to get a custom playmat? Well, then we suggest you check out InkedGaming.com. They have custom playmats, dice bags, mouse pads, and so much more. They even recently added a stitch option to their playmats and mouses as well. Inked Gaming lets you play your game with your style. And if you want 10% off your entire order, use the code TCG University, all caps, no spaces at checkout, to help support us by customizing your game to your style. Cards Custom Build. Are you into cosplay? Looking to get into cosplay? Do you want to show up to events dressed as your favorite character? Well, then Cards Custom Build can help. Cards Custom Build creates everything from cosplay accessories like props, trinkets, weaponry, all the way up to full-blown costumes. Do you want your costumes made from a perfectly flowing cloth or maybe a rigid battle armor? Well, Cards Custom Build has you covered. Their work is guaranteed to make you the talk of the con. So go over to Cards Custom Build either on Facebook or on their Etsy account. Links will be in the description down below. And make sure you mention that TCG University sent you their way and you'll get 5% off your entire order. Dex Protection is on a never-ending pursuit to create the highest quality storage and protection accessories. Their designs and innovation come from die-hard gamers and collectors just like you, so they know what you want in the products that you buy. They're constantly taking in feedback from their customers, and they have no plans of stopping their innovation or drive to refine the products until they are recognized as a leader in their industry. They make terrific products, all with the avid gamer and collector in mind. So go ahead, check them out. A link will be in the description down below. Red Riot Games. Red Riot Games is a personal friend of the show. They are the new kids on the block when it comes to singles delivery. They have currently Magic, Pokemon, and UniVersus singles available to you. So if you're interested in those card types, please go out to redriotgames.ca. Like I said, a new kids on the block in the singles market and are looking to make a really big splash. And they have partnered up with us to give you the absolute best deal possible. Once again, redriotgames.ca, and at checkout, if you use the code TCG_University, you'll get 10% off your entire order. Once again, Magic, UniVersus, Pokemon, they're coming up in the world, so you'll definitely want to get in on the ground level. Red Riot Games. And we'll leave it at this. I don't know how to spell this word.
Plateau?
Did I spell it right?
No.
Is this right?
No.
There it is. Is it? Hey, is it right?
Yeah.
Cool.
This is the word I used with Jeff earlier.
Do you believe that you have plateaued in the game?
Personally, no.
Do you believe that you are getting better?
I think that's subjective. I don't think it's very...
If I made you pick a 51% answer, are you getting better at the game?
I 100% think yes.
Okay. Do you think you have plateaued?
Hell yeah.
I do not believe that I have plateaued. I believe that I am getting better. My question is why do you think you've plateaued?
I don't know. I think maybe... I don't know. It might be just like a it's gonna sound a little weird, but like just in general, I don't understand how the game works. Like I understand how to play cards, and I understand how to give stats, and I understand how to enhance, and I understand how to respond, and I understand how to form, but I don't know the like flow of the game and like.
He's a hump too.
I love that.
Congratulations.
That's great.
You're the second hump of the game.
Could you explain this?
We
as
talked
opposed
about
to just saying hump 2 14 fucking times.
We talked about this before the podcast.
You're at hump 2.
Thanks.
Say thank you.
We talked about this on the podcast before, where I don't know if I don't remember if Tam agreed with me or not, but there are two major humps before getting to like. What, you want to say it 2 more times or?
Yeah, man.
Where there's like the first ones where like there's a hill where you hit in the entry of the game where the game's not as easy as like some people would think it'd be.
And that's not where James is, or Jeff is?
No, he's at
Hub 2.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm sorry. I will stop memeing. What was Hump 1?
Well, I mean, it's funny.
What was Hump 1, the place where Jeff is? He is surpassed, and he's no longer there.
Well, Hump 1's where you learn the game, and then, like, because the game's not as easy as people think it is.
Correct. The barrier of entry is very high.
The barrier of entry is very high.
That is why it's Hump 1, not Hump 2.
Hump 2 is the barrier to high competitive.
Go on.
Where you leave, like the bubble area, where you leave the bubble area, and you start the, like, top 8s and top 16s.
Top 8 at your first event.
Hell yeah.
You born in Hump 2, baby.
I think it was born in the bubble and got lucky.
I
Hit the top of
that
the
was I.
Reptile's
I think
a hell
that
of a
just.
drug.
I think that just. Yeah, it's just an insane meta
You
call.
had red
that-
capsules in that deck?
We made an insane meta call and it just worked out.
Paid off. Happens. I do it a lot of time, and I don't.
And
get
then
that.
Hump 3, the place where Jeff is nowhere near because he's firmly made a hole in Hump 2.
Yeah,
He's living in Hump 2.
it's people that have cardboard. That's all it is.
Well,
Have you ever seen those really expensive like playing clubs? The ones where it's just there's bars, seating everywhere. It's all these people with lots of fucking money. That's where all the people with cardboard is. And everyone wishes they were up there.
I've heard. So I've
He's
been
heard
going
stories of it.
back to martial arts, right? I've been teaching martial arts, and obviously my instructor, Dan McCarthy, is there. And I have been making a podcast with him every Wednesday night, called Striking Thoughts, where him and another instructor sit down and they talk about cool martial art theories and ideas and
I fucking love theirs.
like it's been super fun. I'm not on the podcast. I'm just producing it. And my instructor, Master Dan McCarthy, said something really intriguing that said, he said, there's no such thing as a plateau. You either get better or you get worse. If you think you're plateauing, that's your ego saying, that's your ego telling you you're not getting worse. Right? So you are either getting better or you're getting worse. Saying the words "I'm plateauing" is you trying to save face, right? So the fact that you
set me up though. If you would have asked me if I'm getting worse, I would have said yes also. So
no. So the reason that I set you up is because hopefully I also set them up.
oh, nice.
Right?
Baited.
I wanted to set the person listening to this who actually like needs a really hard hit to home. If you feel like
Look in the mirror.
If you feel like you're not getting better, then you are getting worse. It's just that simple. And there was a time in this game that I genuinely thought that I was plateauing. I was not getting better, that I was getting worse. But then I had to change my focus and think about how the game works in a different light. And so I think it's really interesting that you say that you know how to play the game, but you don't know how to you don't know how the game is played, right? Or I think a better way to do that would be putting it backwards. You know how the game is played, but you don't know how to play the game. Which is fun, and this is where because like I can tell you how to play responses. I can tell you when to play responses, but I can't tell you how to play responses. Like that's really, really hard unless there's like a dedicated coach, right? Which is fun, but then like you have to. There's at some point inside of UniVersus, if you want to be competitive at let's take it back, not just UniVersus, but any competitive thing that you want to do in your life, that you actually have to like truly try, and like you can't coast uphill. You just can't. It's just not possible. And so if you feel like you are plateauing, if you feel like you are getting worse, then we need to figure out how do we crank your
sound.
nope, like a wind up toy. What the fuck is that called? Like crank this thing on your back and send you off in a different direction, right?
The only thing that came to mind was wind up, and you said wind up her.
Yeah. So you say that you are 100% getting better.
Yeah.
In what ways are you getting better?
I could not tell you. I can feel it, but only because I've been doing nothing but looking at and building decks. We messed Tyler up.
Good. So you are the master at not taking advice from other people.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're super, super good at it. And I really
Great at it.
key.
Probably the best.
Wow, key is the absolute correct word. It's key. We gotta wind your key.
Oh man,
Can you
I
help to
could
a
have told you
different
that. I didn't think it was that though.
Really?
It was like key, but they didn't just. All right.
It doesn't sound right. It
Anywho.
really doesn't.
This is the first step. Is you gotta help me with words. That's how we get you past heal
Isn't
two.
isn't one of the cards for wind ups like the wind up key?
I don't give a shit. Anyways,
Yes. Yeah, I think it's a spell card.
Yeah.
could you actually try and dig deep and give me a real answer besides I don't know? Is there a way?
It's hard to like put like an actual like number, like an idea to it. That's the problem. Because I just feel it. I can't like quantify.
Well,
it.
what do you feel?
That's the thing. When I think about it, I don't feel like I'm going backwards, and I don't feel like I'm plateauing.
We've already established there's no plateaus.
Thanks. Yeah,
No problem. I'm just reiterating.
I'm just saying, like, I don't feel like I'm at any of that. I don't feel like I'm going backwards. I don't think I'm just sitting in one spot. So like, the only direction's up. The only direction's forward. Like that's.
I'll allow it if you can explain how you're not getting worse. So that's the only other direction, right?
I just don't feel like I've gotten worse.
He didn't. He couldn't do
I'm
it. I
playing
tried
the
to
exact-
rephrase the question, but
I can't explain it. I play the exact same way I've always played. The only difference is I do the same thing I've always done, which is learn by doing things incorrectly. I'm really good at it, but mostly because I like doing things incorrectly. That's what I figured we were going to talk about for like the fourth time on this podcast, is how I competitively do things incorrectly on purpose when we practice.
It's You said you love theory.
Yeah.
But you're not, as your teammates, you're not letting us help you. I feel like out of everybody that's here, you are like the most solo on your journey. Mm-hmm. Like you refuse to let your teammates help.
It's harder because like you guys don't think the same way I do. I can explain things in theory.
I'm asking you to explain
that's
how
the
it
problem.
is.
I can give you the theory. I can't give you the exacts. I can't give you I can't quantify the numbers. I can give you an idea.
So the theory that you just said, the theory is I'm getting better. Trust me. That's all.
The theory is
just trust. No. But I'm getting better. I'm halfway to hill 3. Nowhere near Jeff at hill 2. You hill 2 hillbilly.
It's hump. It was hump 2. Because hump's up on your work.
You hump Billy.
Like it's harder to explain because like we've had this will be like the third time we've brought it up on the podcast. It's just like
because this is not a thing that will ever change. This will be a topic on the podcast forever. Every 6 months we should fucking talk about mentality.
I know
as a team.
I'm fine with that.
All right.
And every 6 months we're going to talk about how shit I am at being a teammate when it comes to practicing because I don't look towards the same numbers you guys do.
Sure.
When you guys practice, you look at what affects you. What are you doing with your normal idea that affects your opponent? Mm-hmm. What your opponent's doing that normally affects you.
Yeah.
And I would rather look at what dumb shit am I doing that's actually working? What's this weird ass side shit that I'm doing that I shouldn't be doing that's working? And why is that specifically working? Why is this dumb move working when it shouldn't?
So
the reason I say I like theory is because we can already quantify the numbers that work. The numbers have been quantified. They've given you the graph. I want to look off the graph.
Let's take a step back, right? How do you know it works if you don't do it?
Because somebody else has done it. It's how science works.
What do you mean?
So like, if you build your good Andy deck,
yep.
which we've watched you do,
yep.
I know what works. I know when you built it like Scarlet,
for sure,
Nutcracker,
yeah.
Shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
I know that all works.
Yep.
When I build it, I know that works.
Yeah.
I want to know what else works. What was weak? What did Andy have a problem with? I want to know what Andy had a problem with, and I want to build my deck around what Andy had a problem with. I want to build a deck not built to do what you did, but to counter what Andy did. And then I want to know,
what do you mean
why did that work?
What do you mean by counter what Andy did?
Counter what Andy was having problems against. Like, whatever you had a problem against, I want to play a deck built to beat that.
Sure.
And then I want to know, why specifically did this X or Y work? How can I integrate the two without destroying the original build?
I am super down for that. I'm super, super down. That sounds fun. That sounds cool. What I'm saying is, when you take and you make the suboptimal plays inside the game, inside the match, whether it is like a prime example that we had today, right? You should have beaten Goro as Kotal Khan. You should have. In game 3, you chose not to use Royal Bodyguard. You had a momentum. You had a ready Royal Bodyguard. You could have taken this top card of the deck and put it into his card pool. He was left with everything committed out. If you'd have done that on turn 1, on the first attack, after his 5-attack string, he would have stopped playing attacks because he would have failed one of the cards.
Or changed my attack line at least.
You should have won that game. But not because you won, but because you played poorly. You did not use Goro's static ability on his character. Every time that you played a card, you played it on an even difficulty.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever you played a 6 and you checked a 5, or you had to commit 2 cards in order to pass it. Yep. Or however it worked. Yeah. And so every single one of these, you treated your face downs like they were fucking face ups.
I know exactly.
Every single time. And so if you would have played correctly, that wouldn't have mattered. But you didn't play correctly. And you didn't play correctly, and so he beat you.
Yeah.
Right? And so, like, when I sit down and I look at this, and I'm mauling as your teammate, going, you played like shit, and he won. You played like shit,
gave him a chance,
but you won. I can't look at you and go bad on you. You bad on you.
You should not feel that way. You should tell me bad on me. That's one of the problems we get at.
I guess at this point, I am programmed that when I tell you a thing and I know that thing is bad, the response that I normally get from my teammate, from my fun teammate is, it worked out. Who gives a shit? I don't care. It's just a game. The campus championships don't matter anyways. I'm not getting better at them. Who gives a fuck? Campus championships suck dick. I hate every piece of content that you make, Tam. You're not helping me be better at the game. And so I just
until the end of that spiel, I don't think you said a single thing wrong.
Good shit, man. Good job. You fucking crushed it.
Like, of course I played it wrong.
What an
of course
easy
I
game.
don't care that I played it wrong. It already happened. Doesn't mean you don't learn things from it. I can not care about things after the moment and learn from things. You don't think I realized I was playing my attacks wrong with Goro? I haven't touched that deck in like 9 months.
All fucking day, dude. Holy shit. It was insane.
I haven't touched my deck in like 9 months. What do you want from me?
Holy shit, dude.
The last time I played it was the Omaha PTC. What do you want from me?
Goro's the easiest deck in the whole fucking game. You're crazy. So mentality's cool, right?
I love getting yelled at 4 different times.
So to bring it home and make sure that I'm also my neck's also in the chopping block, right? And then this will be done with it, right? The way that I think I'm getting better is I genuinely think I'm getting better at just my basic mechanics. When I miss something in game, I very much pick it up and put it to the forefront of my mind. I had 2 misplays versus Spike. You blackbeard something in, and I should have used Aswell's Little Doll to commit it. And so I went, shit, I suck at that, and I put it up top. And now, from now on, for the rest of forever, I'm going to remember that happens, right? Because, as James said, learn from making your mistakes or whatever. But at the same time, like, looking at, continuing to look at ratios and continuing, honestly, deck building. Deck building's been a struggle of mine for a very, very long time.
Kill? If that momentum you didn't use on Aswell, did it kill him?
What?
Did the momentum from the Aswells that you did not use, did it kill him?
I need you to go further in your example.
You
Because
said
I'm
you
lost.
want to use Aswell's little doll on his thing, right?
No, it
Oh,
was-
it doesn't use momentum.
So he
for that, that's
he
right.
Black Bear Diners.
I'm thinking the other
and
one.
brings the
that's
card back
discard
in.
momentum to a thing.
Yeah, I can check a 5 and commit that card. The card that he brought back in was an ominous prophecy that shoved one of my cards back in my momentum. It
Did
shoved
you
an
use that
asset.
momentum to kill?
He did.
Yes, but it was on a Scarlet Meteor, so I could have also used the asset. But he ended his turn with having to commit all of his foundations, which means if he didn't have that, he wouldn't have had Spike ready on my turn, which would just set me up in a better position. So I didn't have to work as hard because he could flip any of those committed cards in order to give -2 speed. The correct play to truly blow him out was to stop that from happening.
Maybe he changes what he plays then.
Sure. Which means that like I no longer have a second swimming bird coming down my throat. That please change your play. I'm begging you.
I just think there's a difference between like understanding that you made what could have been a mistake and knowing information you didn't know before.
Sure. I totally agree. But
We've talked about it before.
hindsight being 2020, the correct play that I should have done is this. Fundamentally, is this thing.
Yeah.
Right? I could get away with it. I was allowed to get away with it because Scarlet Meteor is a dumb fucking card.
Yeah.
Right? Because
Glad everyone's on board now.
Scarlet Meteor says that doesn't matter if I have the asset. It doesn't matter if it's in my momentum or not. It's already momentum. I can almost prophecy myself. Thank you very much.
Thanks for catching up.
I do believe at some point here in the near future, I am going to stop getting better, and it's going to be fine for me that I sit here and I go up and down and up and down and up and down and pseudo plateau because there's only so far
There's
that
no
you
such
can.
thing as a plateau.
I said pseudo. Very careful with my words. There's only so far that you can take playing and making your fundamentals X good. From there, it has to loop back into deck building fundamentals, and then it goes back into playing fundamentals, and then back into deck building, and back into playing, at least for fundamentals. And so I just get to sit here and this is my gameplay loop now, as opposed to, as you have said before, taking a singular deck and grinding it and polishing it, this ugly piece of marble into
a masterpiece.
into David. What are your thoughts on mentality? Do you have a good mentality? Do you have a bad mentality? Do you agree with James or me or
You probably
Jeff?
don't. You probably don't.
Let us know down in the comments down below. If there's anything that we said tonight that maybe clicked on one of your light bulbs, I would absolutely love to hear about it. Talk to me in the comments down below. Or even better, go out to patreon.com/TCUniversity, sub at the $1 level, get access to the Discord, and you can talk to all of the student body and get their opinions on this as well. So, from all of us here at TCGU, thank you very much for watching, you guys, and stay learned.
Get learned.
Ben learned.
Hi. Bye.
Bye.